Hey everybody, I am Katrina Anderson. I'm the Star Director for Empowering Sense Group, and I am going to talk about recognition. Hopefully this is very quick for y'all, because honestly, recognition should not be something that you overthink. It's very simple. So when you think of recognition, ask yourself first, what do you like to be recognized for? Because chances are someone on your team probably wants to be recognized the same way, or recognized for the same thing. So I want to let's talk a little bit about what recognition is not first, and then we'll go over what recognition actually is. So first and foremost, it is not extravagant. If you are on other leadership pages, especially if you're a director or above, you see that some people go way, I don't want to say overboard, because some people, they love to do that, but they're very extravagant with their recognition, and they make up these great packages and things and boxes and things for their teamies, for anything, and you do not have to do that. Focus on what you can do, okay? Focus on what you can do. I will say that if you, at the bare minimum, think that you can't even afford a stamp for say a PRV postcard or something, please take a moment. Even if you are a lead consultant, lead, star, superstar, director, all the way above, but even if you're a lead consultant, this is a really great time for you to look at your commission check and see, everything's broken down. You can actually see how much you get on your bonuses for each of your frontline. So look at that when it comes to figuring out what you can or can't afford to do. By all means, do not go out of your means at all. But I find that just a stamp, which, listen, I get it, the price of stamps keeps going up, but everyone should be able to do a stamp. But if you can't, I have some really great ideas for you, because it doesn't always have to be regular mail. That was my other point. It's not always numbers based. So you do not, yes, there are certain things that are sales based, but not all recognition is revolving around numbers. Okay. That's the quickest way to make someone on your team feel like just a number. And we don't ever want anyone to feel like that, right? It's also not the sole responsibility of your upline. So please don't think, well, I don't need to recognize my frontline because my director does that. I don't need to recognize this person in my downline because my upline does it. You should absolutely be recognizing more than your frontline. Yes, your frontline comes first, but honestly, even if you're a star consultant and you have a lead under you and a few different levels under you, you should totally be digging into those people and shouting them out and recognizing them. So should their sponsor. There is no such thing as too much recognition. It does you absolutely no harm to recognize someone. It does that person no harm to have multiple people recognize them for something. In fact, it does the opposite. It is a huge self-esteem booster to them to see that they're getting recognized for the same thing from multiple people. Okay? When you're recognized by just one person, it's yeah, okay, yeah, I did a good job. But I guess I could have been better. But then when you have multiple people recognizing you for the same thing, that's when it kind of gets in your head where you're yeah, I did do that really awesome. Yeah, I did do that. I did the damn thing. Yeah. And it helps that person with their self-confidence, okay? So there's nothing wrong, and no one should be getting mad. It's not stepping on toes. Listen, if you think that there are superstar consultants out there that are not recognizing people that are, 5 to 10 generations, let alone levels, generations under them, I promise you, you're wrong. They are totally recognizing them. If that were the case, our superstar director, our upline superstar director, and so on and so forth would not recognize people for annual sales, annual mentor that have other directors above them. And none of those directors are getting mad. None of those sponsors are getting mad. At least you shouldn't be, for your superstar director to be recognizing someone under you for achieving something, right? So there's absolutely nothing wrong with multiple people recognizing the same person for the same thing. Absolutely not. But just make sure that you're not someone who's sitting back going, well, I don't need to recognize this person for this because so-and-so already did. Absolutely not. You should still shout them out in your own way, however you want, okay? It only benefits that person. There is literally no harm that can come from it, okay? So what is recognition? First and foremost, it's work. It is extra work because now that you have taken that leadership role, there is extra responsibility that comes with being a leader. And one of those things is recognizing your people under you. I don't like saying under you. Your frontline and your downline, your team, okay? It is extra work. I know that. I'm not saying that it's easy, but it can be easy. It does not have to be overcomplicated. It doesn't have to be anything that it doesn't need to be, okay? It's also personalized. Your recognition should be personalized. You don't want someone to get, an email or something where it at least doesn't have their name on it, where it doesn't look like, yes, as leaders, we do have templates for our emails and things, but you can still try to personalize, if you're sending a PRV card, put their name on it if you can. If you're tagging them in a post on your team page, obviously you're going to tag them with their name on it, right? So you want to personalize it to them and whatever it is that they achieved, whether it's their goal that they achieved or, a certain number or whatever. And we'll get more into that in a minute. And like I said, this is the biggest thing, and this is my word for the year. It's simple. Recognition is simple. Do not overthink it and do not overcomplicate it, okay? It's quick. Think about what can you do in car pickup line. And I know we're getting ready to go into the summer. What can you do while you're waiting to get your grocery pickup from the store? What can you do in your car? What can you do in between commercial breaks while watching your favorite I won't say Netflix because there's no commercials, but if you're watching something on TV, what can you do during commercial breaks? What can you do in between loads of laundry? What can you do, you know what I mean? In those little 10, 15 minute breaks. Recognition should not take you. It should not be an all day thing. It should be something that is quick. It should be something that is replicatable. Absolutely. When it comes to your posts and your emails and things like that, I am a huge relier on Google Docs. I keep things, I've shared it on with the leaders too. I keep templates of a lot of things that I recognize, and I switch up the verbiage every now and then so it's not the exact same thing every month. But the gist of it is, okay, is make templates for yourself or use someone else's. But you definitely want it to be where a downline would look at their recognition and think, yeah, I could do that. You never want a downline to look at anything you're doing as someone in their upline, as one of their leaders. You never want someone to be like, there is no way that I could do that. Absolutely not. That is too much. That's too much. No way. Okay, that's the same thing with our customers. You don't ever want your customers to see that you're doing the most, because then those are the ones when you ask them to join, they're the ones that are like, oh, there's no way I could do all the things that you do. You don't ever want a downline to think that about recognition and stuff. Why would I want to be a leader then if I have to do all this extra stuff? So you make them very easily replicatable, very, 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 very easy and not overcomplicated. And recognition needs to be consistent too, okay? I very much recommend making it a part of your weekly and monthly systems. I don't want to say daily because really there's nothing that you should be recognizing daily, because that is being super extra and that's the most right there. And you don't need that kind of stress. But don't recognize something one month and then not the next. And don't recognize one person one month for something and not someone else. Okay? So I think that's like gives me the ick. Like, you cannot play favorites. If you're going to recognize someone for something, you need to recognize other people for doing the same thing. If you're going to recognize certain accomplishment for something, you need to recognize that next month too, okay? Unless it's like that month specific, like an incentive or something. So why should you do recognition? Plain and simple. People just want to feel seen. Whether you like that or not, listen, everybody knows that recognition is my jam. It's like my love language, okay? I mean, my love language really is gifts, and that's why I love to like send like PRV cards and stuff like that. But recognition is my jam. I learned not too long ago from Home Office, from Michelle Snyder, there is something that every single person on your team can be celebrated for. Literally anything, okay? People just want to be seen. And like I said, it's not always numbers based. Because it's not about you giving them the recognition. It is about them receiving the recognition. So this is a little bit, no, I'll say that later. Sorry, I'm looking down at my notes. But when I say it's for them, it's for their people too. It's for their friends and their family. Like when you do that post on their wall that they were, they did something, they were number 2 out of, 200 consultants last month for PRV, for sales. All their friends and family can see that. So that's not just them saying like, yeah, I'm kind of doing like this Scentsy thing is like for real for me and I'm having so much fun doing it. It's different when someone else is saying like, look at your friend, look at your daughter, look at your sister, your cousin, your neighbor, your friend. They're doing this and like they're doing it really well. It's for their people. That's why a lot of directors will see like we tag people when we share like the banner and stuff like that. We tag people, we do posts for people on their walls, on their social media, in our stories and stuff. It's not really for you that we're shouting you out. It's for all of your friends and family to see that. It's like us bragging on you to them. Okay? Does that make sense? And it's also for your teenies to see that you're killing it too. It is. It's also for your teenies to see that too. It's for them to see that you are working your business right alongside them. So what sort of things can you recognize? First and foremost, anything. You can recognize anything. It doesn't have to be any of these things that I'm saying here. It can be something completely different. Obviously PRV, any type of PRV. You can do milestone PRV for like, maybe they hit their first 10K lifetime, 50K lifetime, 100K lifetime. It can just be this person is the first person in our entire team to have PRV for the month. Doesn't have to be the first person active. It could be just the first person who has PRV on the first. That's something huge to shout out. Just the first to do literally any order. Sponsoring. First person to sponsor something. First person to hit 2K. The first person to have an active frontline. Shouting out TWV, GWV, because you're also not just shouting them out, you're shouting their whole team out with them, okay? When they're paid at title, listen, when you're paid at title, you should be shouting your team out because you wouldn't have been paid at title without them, okay? A lot of people, when you see that we get shouted out for being paid at title, we're just like, yep, couldn't have done it without my amazing team. I have people who I shout out for their amazing PRV and they always reply the same thing on their wall. They're like, I couldn't have done it without my awesome customers. My customers are amazing. My friends and family love to support me. They are the best. Because that's true. You want to recognize, it's not just the person you're recognizing everyone who helped get them there. Everyone who helped you get there. you should be recognizing them too. Birthdays and centiversaries. Everyone has a birthday and everyone has a centiversary. I don't care if that person has 0 PRV, if that person has 0 lifetime PRV. You should still make a birthday post for them, or at the very least send them a message that says happy birthday. Hey, happy centiversary. If the worst that's going to happen is they're going to leave you on red and they're eventually going to fall off. But what if that's all they needed was for you to just reach out to them, to recognize them, to see them, for them to go, you know what, maybe I should give this another go. You never know. Like I don't think that there's any negative implication that comes with recognition. I personally have never had someone say, please don't shout me out. Granted, you might have someone that says, I don't want to be shouted out, and obviously respect their wishes, but it's not happened to me yet in 5.5 years. Where was I? Promotions. When you promote, again, shout out. Oh yeah, when you promote, make sure you're recognizing your team. And whenever someone under me promotes, I always try to say like, who's watching? Let's see. Kelsey Shenko just promoted to superstar consultant, her and her team. And normally I know the team name by then, totally killed it this month. Like, keep going. And, it's never just about the one person promoting, because they didn't do that on their own. The only promotion that you really do on your own is certified. For lead and above, all of those promotions, that's not just one person. That's the whole team that helped that person get there. So recognize everyone involved. Shooting star, sensational start, incentives, annual awards like annual sales, annual mentor. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with more than one person in that person's upline recognizing them. So if you think, oh, well, their sponsor already shouted them out for this, I don't need to shout them out for it. You should still shout them out, because for some people, maybe they talk to their sponsor every day and it's no big deal to them that their sponsor shouted them out. But if they see their star director or their superstar director shout them out, they're like, oh my God, she knows who I am. I remember being so awestruck because I got a voice text one time from our upline superstar director, and I was like, holy cow, she knows who I am. That's nuts. So you never know what kind of impact that's going to have. It's always going to be a positive impact, but that could be their aha moment for them in their business. Yes, recognition can do that. Okay, how about some things that are not numbers-based? Because I said it's not always numbers-based, okay? How about when they go live for the very first time? How about when they go live anytime? That's a big deal. Not just going live, but going live on their personal page. Maybe they went live on the team page for the very first time. That's a big deal to recognize. Maybe they went live in the leaders page for the very first time, or for the first time in a long time. That's a big thing to shout out, is going live. Contributing to your team page, commenting on things, providing helpful links, adding to your albums, tagging people, sharing the news tab, sharing trainings. Maybe that person only has 100 PRV, but dang it, they are the first person to cheer someone on the team page. Yeah. Shout them out for that. That's amazing. You don't even have to do it publicly. Just a quick message to them, hey, thank you so much. You are always our biggest cheerleader, and I just want you to know that I see you. It's that simple and that easy, okay? Sharing to your personal page and stories, unique posts. That's one of my favorite things. If I'm scrolling my feed and all of a sudden I see a really cool story up, chances are it's probably Kelsey's. I will screenshot it and I'll share it to our team page, and I'll shout the person out. Or if I'm scrolling and I see a really cool post that Bree did, and I'm like, nobody else is sharing that stuff, but she's thinking outside of the box with this. I want to shout her out for that. And I can tell you right now, there's a director between me and her. There's a director between me and Kelsey too. Their directors do not ever get mad at me for shouting them out. In fact, I almost always get a message from one of their directors that's like, thank you so much for pouring into my girls too, and not just your own team. Like, no one is, I'm telling you, no one is ever gonna, like, they shouldn't be getting mad at you for recognizing people that are on your team. And it's not you. I'm not saying that you're like to do like that person's job for them, by the way. But if anything, that person's sponsor is going to see, oh man, like she keeps shouting my people out. Let me make sure I'm shouting my people out too. And then that opens a leadership conversation too, by the way, with you and that sponsor on leadership responsibilities and things like that. But it also is to show that person too, like, you know what, life gets crazy and I have time right now to do this. I make time to do this. You don't have time to do it. It's cool. Like, I've got your back on this. Don't make them feel bad for not doing it or missing it or whatever. Like, girl, I got you. You should still go make up another post. Like, hey, because that's the other thing. Have you noticed that certain people in certain groups, other people's posts get seen more. It's just a Facebook algorithm thing where certain people get more comments on posts. It could be the same exact post and it doesn't get seen. So I'm always like, no, go make them a post too. Yes. There's no such thing as too much recognition. There just isn't. Okay. Contributing to other groups. Maybe you see them always sharing in the leaders page. Yeah, shout them out for that. Maybe you see them always sharing in just another consultant group. Or maybe they're a part of someone else's team page entirely because they're just there to help. Shout them out for that too. Like, hey, you are so helpful. You are totally living the give more than you take. And I just want you to know that I see you. It doesn't go unnoticed. And like I said earlier, literally anything. You can recognize anything that you want. So what does recognition look like? I already talked about emails, and I already talked about posts, like shout out posts on your team page, shout them out in the leadership page, shout them out on your director's page, shout them out on their personal page, shout them out in your stories. Text them, call them on the phone, voice message them. Like I said, the one that was like really like that sticks in the back of my mind, send them a quick video. I know Mindy is really, really great at sending videos, like of just like her whooping it up and like being like, woo, like so excited. She does little videos and it's so cute. And then of course there's regular mail. So it doesn't have to always cost like money, but like even regular mail is just a postcard, or even like what you do with your customers, a handwritten note goes a long way. A handwritten note goes a long way. Just a quick little personalization on the back of a PRV card of, hey, Amanda, you killed it last month. I'm so proud of you. Do you know how many people don't get told that someone is proud of them? It's why I make a point of always saying, always so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I will put that in every email, every post. I don't care if some people think it sounds fake. I mean it 100%, like with so much sincerity, because there are people, it's something that I learned when I was a PTO president. There are kids that go to school that are never told like how great they look. I love your shirt. It's so pretty. Oh my gosh, your hair looks so good today. Did you do that all by yourself? No one complimented these kids, and you could tell when you would say it to them. So I made a point, like on picture day, for example, to compliment every single kid, and not just on their looks, but you know, oh my gosh, look at you, you're so strong. You are so patient for waiting in that line that long. Thank you for being so patient. Complimenting them on anything, because they're not being told that at home, okay? And we can't fix everybody's like situations, but we can help. Like, we can help them in that moment not have to think about that. And so for me, I'm just like, you don't know what's going on in somebody's home life, and you don't know if anyone is at home telling them that they're proud of them for doing this business, they probably have more people at home telling them that they're going to fail than succeed. And so I do think it's very important for you as their leader to not necessarily be their biggest cheerleader, but you should totally be one of their cheerleaders. Okay? Because some people are truly lucky and blessed to have cheerleaders at home, but not everyone does. So I just think at the end of the day, if you can find anything to celebrate about someone, you should do it. Even if it's that, you know what, you're still here. You have 0 PRV, but you know what, you haven't fallen off yet. You're still here. You did press join for a reason. Like, have a conversation with them and find out how to help them get their groove back. Help them figure out why they did press join, Let them know that they don't have to have sales to contribute to your team page. Okay? Maybe there's someone who's really good at finding all of the flyers and the real life pictures. That's something that a lot of us would be lost without, because you know what? If you want to spend your time doing that, by all means, thank you so freaking much. But please remember, do what you can, not what everyone else is doing. Don't think that you have to do what everyone else is doing. Keep it simple and easily replicatable so that you can stay consistent. Don't stress over not getting thanked. That was the other thing. Please don't stress over not getting thanked. I get, excuse me, so I'll say frustrated because it's a nice word. I get frustrated when I hear leaders say, I don't do that anymore because no one was saying thank you. I don't do that anymore because no one was taking pictures of their PRV cards. So I don't do PRV cards anymore. No one was posting them and tagging me in it, so I don't do them anymore. No one was saying thank you. You're not doing recognition for you. You are doing it for them. So in the very beginning, I would get upset like that. I was one of those people that was like, no one is saying thank you. Or they would send me a message and thank me with a picture of it. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, go share that to your wall. And it's I don't want you to share it to your wall or your story so that people can see that I sent you something, because that's not the reason we do it. I want you to share it to your wall so that your people can see that you're killing it. So don't stress over not getting thanked. I feel like it's such a cop-out of well, if no one's going to say thank you, I'm not going to do it anymore. That only makes you look bad. It doesn't make anybody else look bad. And like I've said a million times, there is absolutely no such thing as too much recognition. None. So I hope that this helped. Let me know if you guys got any questions. Bye.